the Dawgs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
What's up, Browns fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast presented by Omaha Steaks. Josh All, Justin Charles with you guys tonight, and we're going to be, I don't really want to say breaking down necessarily the schedule that was released last night by the time you guys are watching this, a bit 2 nights ago, whatever. But we are going to take a look at it, and we're going to give our reactions to the schedule, over our overall thoughts and opinions, and just, those kinds of things. Blake will not be joining us tonight because he is currently wrestling a toddler, and I kind of see my future in his situation because I feel like as soon as we wrap this up, that could be what I'm heading into. So, Justin, with all that being said,
yes,
the schedule finally came out. We'd been talking about it for a while. It was, not necessarily leaked, but released earlier in the week that we would be opening the season with the Cowboys. We did our episode earlier this week, kind of breaking down our thoughts on that. But now that we've got the full scope of the schedule and everything the Browns are going to be going through this season, what was your initial reaction, takeaway from it all?
I like it. I honestly, I like it, man. Don't get me wrong. When we first got at least the opponents, our home and away, I was like, man, there's some dogs here. We got some dog fights ahead. There's some tough opponents on the schedule. The good thing though, just on paper when you looked at it, it was well, hey, at least a lot of the tougher teams that I saw, at least we'd be able to have them in Cleveland. It wasn't we were taking all these tough opponents on the road. And if last year was ever, an indicator, we didn't always show up on the road. So my biggest impression when I actually saw the full schedule was I liked it. I thought that the NFL kind of did us a lot of favors. The first, let's say up to the bye week, up in week 10. I love that we have the, mid-season bye week. That I think that is huge for us.
Way better than last year, man.
Yes. Yeah. And even I don't really love when you get a bye week, at the end, because then, if you're in a rhythm, let's say you have it week 15 or something like that, and you're in a rhythm, I think it just kind of throws everything off. So I like that it's right in the middle, get healthy, reload. My biggest takeaway after seeing the schedule and how everything lays out is I think the NFL kind of wanted to see if the Cleveland Browns are really for real, coming out of last year. That last 4-game stretch, is kind of a gauntlet. You have week 15, I believe it is, against Kansas City at home. And then you have Cincinnati, and then I believe it's Miami at home, and then to Baltimore. So I just was like, well, hell, if we're gonna go through a hell of a run there with 4 potential playoff teams, it's all at the end. Playoff tune-up. If we think we're for real and we're a playoff team like Cleveland Browns fans believe we are, I mean, there's your metric test right there. It's all right in front of you.
Yes, that's very true. And, we were talking before the show, and I'll just kind of say my piece now about looking at the end, those last 4 games, the end of the schedule and all that kind of stuff. Before I do, make sure you guys on YouTube like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. We are just 500 subscribers away from hitting 10K. We're just getting closer and closer every day. So any help you guys can give us, we appreciate it very much. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please scroll down to the bottom of the page there and just leave us a 5-star written review. And that helps us a ton, get the podcast in front of more Browns fans, and just be something simple like, hey, guys, great show, good Browns content, whatever you want to say. But looking at the schedule, I was telling you before we started, if you're looking past week 6 or 7 into the 2024 schedule, you are really just shooting arrows in the dark about, you have no idea what's going to happen because the first stretch of the season, you can more accurately predict, okay, these are probably, the opponents and how their teams are going to shake out, their rosters, who's going to be healthy and that kind of thing. But like I was saying to you, man, after about week 5, we're going to have ACLs and Achilles and concussions and suspension. Who knows what's going to be happening to these teams? And the NFL, Blake always talks about the parity in the league. Things are going to happen. And by week 5, anything that we predict or talk about right now toward the end of the schedule is not even going to matter because these teams are going to look drastically different. So you got to look at the schedule in chunks. And obviously the first chunk is the most important. You look at those first, I'd say 5 games.
Yes.
And I love the way the season opens up for the Browns.
Yeah.
And it, of course, is assuming we get through training camp and preseason healthy and all that kind of stuff. We know that's not very likely. Like, guys are going, it sucks, but guys are going to get hurt. It's just what happened. But, Dallas, we've already talked about that game. It's a good opening game for us. I'm glad we get Dallas at home, and it's a good chance for us to come out and punch somebody in the mouth. A playoff team from last year, and just say, look, we're ready to go.
Right.
And get them at home. I like that. And then we get to go to Jacksonville. That's cool because while I think they're a decent team, I don't think they're a great team. And I think it's a team that we could go on the road, and if our defense can play on the road this year, that would be the game to prove that. And then we get to come back home and play the freaking New York Giants.
Yep.
And then we get 2 away games, but it's the Raiders and the Commanders. It's going to be maybe Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew and probably Jaden Daniels, 2 teams that nobody's projecting to go to the playoffs this year. So it's the opening act of 2024, I think, is pretty nice.
It looks good on paper, right? It always, and then we keep talking about it too. There's going to be teams that are going to surprise, right? There's always a team. Maybe it's Drew Lock and the New York Giants, potentially. Maybe it's not even Danny Dimes out there. Maybe Washington with Jaden Daniels. If Jaden Daniels is everything that people say he is, he's stepping into a good situation, offensively. Just throwing it out there.
Well, and that brings me to the Houston Texans from last year. You talked about they get this rookie quarterback. We did the same thing last year. The schedule came out and we saw the Texans at the end of the season. Said, "Oh, thank God we get like an easy game toward the end of the season with the Houston Texans." And then as the season went on, it was like, holy crap!
Oh crap! Yeah.
Tough team to beat because Stroud's playing stellar. They've got this great new head coach that's got this team doing things that we never thought they'd be able to do this year. And it was like, man, maybe that game's not going to be, such a chalk it up to a win type of situation. And then CJ Stroud gets
hurt.
In Case Keenum, and we blow them out. So it's, man, the NFL changes week to week so much. Crazy, but yeah. So you're right. Washington could definitely be one of those teams. New head coach, rookie quarterback. They come out and it's like, well, we didn't see this coming, but
right
here.
Well, even look at last year, just with how many different starting quarterbacks, not even on the Browns, but just in the league in general. Was
it 67?
It was crazy. It was a crazy. I'm pretty sure it was a record for how many different starting quarterbacks actually got a start. So I think that, as far as like, we can look at it now and it's May. We're literally 2-3 weeks into May and we can go, hey, well, it looks good, but the perennial powerhouses, the division's going to be tough. The division this year, I feel like there's 4 teams that could just absolutely kill each other. Like, I think that every team in this division has a legitimate shot at winning the North this year. Even Pittsburgh, we can say what we want about Pittsburgh. I haven't pretty much seen them have a losing season in my life at this point. So, I think that the North is going to be crazy, crazy competitive, but should be very, very interesting. You win the North, like we want the Cleveland Browns to win the North, we'll be putting ourselves in quite a position because that's going to be a tough division to get ahead of.
It sure will. So that first stretch of games, like we already mentioned, but it will be home versus Dallas, and then away at Jacksonville, home versus the New York Giants, away at Las Vegas, and away at Washington. And then just to go real quick for anybody just listening to the podcast, the rest of the schedule, Week 6, we're away at Philadelphia. Week 7, we're home versus Cincinnati. Week 8, home versus Baltimore, so back-to-back division games. And then Week 9, we get our third straight home game versus the Los Angeles Chargers. Week 10 is that bye week Justin was talking about, kind of right in the middle of the season, which is much better than Week 5 like last year. We come out of the bye Week 11 away at New Orleans, and then we come back home Week 12 to play the Steelers. Week 13, we go on the road to play Denver. Week 14, we're on the road to play Pittsburgh, so it's Pittsburgh, Denver, Pittsburgh. And then, like Justin was saying, this last stretch, Week 15 at home, thankfully, versus Kansas City. Week 16 on the road versus the Bengals. Week 17 at home versus Miami. And Week 18, we wrap it up on the road in Baltimore.
Yeah. So,
and that's the thing, though. You look at that last game. Oh, we got to play Baltimore last game of the season. Well, what if what if Baltimore or Cleveland? What if we have the playoff seeding locked up like we did last year in Week 17?
Mm-hmm.
Then that game doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah.
That game could decide the division. Who knows? Correct. It could be like a throwaway game. It could be a makes all the difference kind of game. That is one heck of a way to wrap it up.
Yep. And Browns fans for a while have been kind of clamoring for some primetime games. You got some primetime games this year. I believe there's 4 altogether. You got them on. I can fire them off, I think, off the top of my head. But if you got them pulled up.
I've got them pulled up here. So it's the Week 12 game at home versus Pittsburgh is Thursday night football.
Correct. Yep.
And then actually that's 2 weeks in a row because then the following week in Denver, we are Monday night football.
Correct. Yep.
15. So it's Thursday night and then we don't play again until Monday night. So that's actually kind of that's going to be like a mini bye week.
Yep.
If you're looking at the schedule, so we get bye week, then we get a game, and then we get 2 games, and we kind of get like another mini bye, which is really nice because I'm sure we'll be banged up like everybody is at that point. And then let's see, Week 16 at Cincinnati will be another Thursday night game, and then the following week, so we're back to back again, will be
Sunday night football.
The thing I'm looking at's kind of messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday night against Miami
at home. Week 17 in the cold.
Hopefully we get the Dolphins because you knew it was a home game.
Yep.
Hopefully it's like a December game at home and everything.
Yeah.
That we get December 29th.
I love it. Couldn't have played out any better. Maybe Week 18 would have been just slightly, slightly colder and crappier weather for Cleveland fans and Miami Dolphin players.
Week 18 is typically all division games.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've noticed that.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Omaha Steaks. Dog Pack, Memorial Day is almost here, and that means it's time to get fired up for grilling season. So sweep off your deck, throw back the grill cover, and fire up the mouth-watering flavor of Omaha Steaks when you go to omahasteaks.com/dogs and get 50% off site-wide with Omaha Steaks Memorial Day sale. That's 50% off everything Omaha Steaks has to offer, not just the steaks, which are absolutely incredible, but they've also got awesome jumbo franks, brats, chicken, seafood. They've got pork. They've got appetizers. I just ordered a bunch of meatballs and chicken wings for my freezer to get ready for grilling season. So head over to omahasteaks.com/dogs and see what they have to offer. This is a great opportunity to get a great deal on great food. omahasteaks.com/dogs, 50% off site-wide Memorial Day sale, and use promo code DAWGS, DAWGS, when you check out. You'll get an extra $30 off your order. Omaha Steaks isn't just steak, it's the best steak of your life, guaranteed. So load up on all the summer classics for half the price at omahasteaks.com/dogs, and don't forget to use our promo code DAWGS, DAWGS, when you check out and get that extra $30 off your order. You got to hurry. The Memorial Day sale will be gone before you know it. That's omahasteaks.com/dogs, promo code DAWGS when you check out for an extra $30 off your order. Minimum order may be required.
All right, so if that was kind of an awkward break, I'm not really sure. Justin might have left us a good pause. We'll see when I go back to edit, but Blake is now with us. So the toddler situation worked out. He is here. And well, how's it going, Blake?
I just got done with a brutal bedtime procedure for anybody who has a toddler. I feel like the Mel Gibson at the end of The Patriot.
You mean you just stab somebody?
I'm battered and bloody, but I'm alive. I'm here, and I could tell my story.
You're swinging the flag through all the...
Yeah, that's exactly what it was like. But no, I'm happy I was able to at least jump in and catch the tail end to do this, because did you guys talk about, what did you guys think about just the unveiling, the video?
We didn't even talk about that.
We did not, so let's go for it.
Well, I'm here. That's why.
Okay.
Why they pay me the big bucks.
Well, I jumped on Cleveland Browns on their social media page, and I'm in there, and Brad Moneymaker's in there just talking in the comments, and I'm like, what's up, Brad? What are you doing? And so I watched it with Brad live with my family technically, because I made my wife and kids sit down and watch it too. But I thought it was cool. It was original, and then you have a cameo at the end with, you could say, arguably one of the greatest celebration in sports, aka Pete Weber, and even a little "Who do you think you are? I am" in there. So I walked away just going, well, hey, we did this again. They killed it. Very Browns social media team, very underrated.
It was I was like, okay, this is cool. I'm liking getting the players involved and stuff. And then Pete Weber walks in. It took it from like, okay, this is cool to like, this is awesome.
Yes.
I was in a bowling league for a long time. Zach Kopp, the guy who used to do the show with us, he's still big into bowling. I mean, I still love bowling. I just don't get to do it as much anymore. But Pete Weber's like been an icon of mine for over a decade. So to just see him rocking some Browns gear doing the video was awesome. I was like, damn it, right? And I know John Nye was freaking out because he does a great Pete Weber impression.
Yes,
so I thought it was solid. I think like the Chargers. I don't know if you guys saw some of the Charger stuff again.
I did, yeah.
Good. And I thought what the Browns put out before the schedule was released, I don't know if you guys saw it, said our schedule with memes, but with no explanation.
Yes.
It was very good. There was a raven holding a knife in its beak, and I thought that was
dicey.
It's
Pittsburgh,
dicey.
Pittsburgh, just a trash can.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people took exception to that. Joe Burrow wearing a LeBron jersey.
Yes. So
Chef's kiss. They killed it.
It was awesome. So I thought that was really cool. We obviously already knew about Dallas coming out. I got the schedule pulled up over here, so I'm not just like looking off into the distance. But we already talked about the Dallas game on our episode. I think it came out yesterday. So that's a good opener. When I look at the schedule, and you guys said you guys kind of broke it down a little bit, but I think you got to split between weeks 1 and 2. I think you got to win one of those games. I'd like to win them both. I think they're both winnable for sure. But I'd really like to get that Dallas game and win at home and start the season 1-0. But worst case scenario, I think if you can come out of a game with a split between those two, then you're sitting all right. Then I think you got to win 3 in a row. I think that if you want to be the team you think you're going to be this year and you're going to go to the playoffs and do the things you want to do, I think you got to beat the Giants, the Raiders, and the Commanders. I think those are games you got to win. So that should put you at 3-1 heading into the Eagles, and that's at home.
That's away.
That's away. Okay.
Yep.
The Eagles and I don't know. I don't want Eagles fans to come on here and bash me, but we talked about how 50% of the league turns over and teams that are good aren't good the next year. I think the Eagles could be a team that take a step back. Are you guys? Am I saying the same thing you already said?
No, you got like a couple with a thumbs up popping up over here.
Yeah.
Got a what?
You keep getting a thumbs up, like you're thinking that your ideas are really good, and it just keeps
me up.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not
It's you.
Myself up.
You're thumbsing yourself right
I
now.
don't know what to do with my hands.
I don't know if that's going to be viewable on the video, but that was.
I hope it is. I was scared to say something about it. This just went.
I swear I'm not emoting myself.
I was like, holy crap, this is cool. Is Josh seeing this, or am I just imagining this?
You're like just super hot.
So tired.
But I think the Eagles are one of these teams that could potentially take a step back. I know they added Saquon, but they're losing a Hall of Famer in Kelsey. The offense clearly took a step back last year when they lost Ben Johnson. Now, obviously, they've had an offseason to kind of reevaluate and tweak the offense, and maybe they go forward. But I just think if half the league turns over, statistically, some of these teams are going to fall off a little bit. And the Eagles, I think, could potentially be one of those teams that fall back a little bit. I'm not predicting it, so calm down, Eagles fans, if you're watching. But I just think they're a team on our schedule that I think could potentially take a step back. So I think that's a winnable game. And then you got your split, but I would like to see us, split one of these next couple games. I think if you can go 2-2 over your next 4 between the Eagles, Bengals, Ravens, and Chargers, I think then you're still sitting, then you're still sitting at 6-3, heading into the bye week. I would be happy with that. 7-2 would be better if you can squeak out one of these possible split scenarios. But I think if you're 6-3 heading into the bye, and you got the Saints coming out of the bye, which I think should be a very winnable game this year also, and you can be 7-3 heading into that first Pittsburgh game on Thursday night, I think you're setting yourself up for a pretty good run. where you get to like week 12 to the end of the season, that's where it turns into like, okay, we better be playing good football and hopefully we're healthy, because this is where it turns into, you got Pittsburgh, who I think Russell Wilson improves their offense a ton. I know like some people think he's just completely washed, but statistically he played way better last year than he did. Get anybody away from Nathaniel Hackett, they start playing better football. So I think he makes them better. Their defense is always really good. They're always disciplined. Obviously the Chiefs, 3-time Super Bowl champs in the last 5 years, whatever. Bengals, I know that like this is going to get a lot of Bengals fans butthurt, but I'm legitimately never worried about the Bengals until they can beat us on a consistent basis. It's just it's probably how most teams feel about the Browns. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel about the Bengals. Like, I know you got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and you went to the Super Bowl, but despite all that, you still we basically hand it to you almost every time we play you. So I'm going to pick us to beat the Bengals in every game ever until they prove to me that they're going to beat us on a consistent basis. So I think you can pull that one off. I know Justin was pumped to get Miami at home late in the season. I think that's a nice get. I mean, Tua might be dead by then. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But usually by this point in the season, they're kind of falling off. And then that week 18 game, the league left it up to be determined, because I think they know there's a chance there's a lot of implications on the line for that game potentially. So I think the league giving you 4 primetime games in general is a good amount, but then they give us 4 primetime games heading down the stretch of the season. I think they anticipate that we are going to be playing good football and we're going to be worth watching heading into this tough stretch of the season. So I think the league is telling you they think the Browns are going to put 2 good seasons in a row. And so I'm excited to see what we do. If just on first glance, I think 10 plus is very much, I think you can get to 11 or 12 for sure.
Yeah.
Especially, you got to come out the gate swinging though. Like we can't have 6 weeks of trying to find ourselves on offense. Like we got to come out, we got to be fired, because I don't think we can be 5-5 heading into the bye. I mean, technically, then you can still make a playoff run if you're 5-5 at week 10, rattle off, win 6 of your last 8 or whatever. But like, I think you got to be 6-3, 7-2 at that bye to really set yourself up for this gauntlet coming out of the bye week.
I think the Browns were 8-1 right at home last year. And that was with a lot of those home games being played by Joe Flacco and DTR. And, we had a lot of guys injured and things like that. So as long as our defense rolls over and that isn't just the same, but improves, because like we've talked about, got to show up on the road. We have got to be a different team on the road. We don't have to be the number 1 road defense, but we can't be 32.
Correct.
Be up half. And then we'll be okay. And like you said, Blake, that stretch of New York, Las Vegas, Washington, we got to win. That's got to be like a 3 in a row for us for sure.
Yes, you can't drop one of those games. Like those got to be wins. And for you, Justin, as a season ticket holder, it kind of sucks that 4 of our first 6 games are on the road. And that's the best weather in Cleveland. By the time you start going to games, it's going to be freezing cold and rainy.
It's built different, dog. It's built different out here.
Hopefully we don't got to worry about that for a couple more years.
Yeah, pretty much just my wife's not going to a lot of Browns games this year. It's what it sounds like.
Maybe I'll be on my way.
Yeah, toughened up, dog. Get ready.
I know, I got to get thick skin. But no, I think the defense has to be different. And I think the offense has to be ready to go week 1. Like I'm not saying you don't have to be week 11 efficient on offense, but we can't be throwing balls in the dirt. We can't be finding ourselves a month into the season. Like we got to come out firing, because this first 9 weeks is where you need to go get some wins. You got to go win the games that you're supposed to win here in this chunk of the season.
And I will say this, but looking back at last year and talking about how we say it all the time, it was like, what was it? 26% of the cap was on IR and 12 starters on IR, and we still went 11-6, could have been 12-5, went to the playoffs. And I feel like this roster this year is built even better depth-wise than it was last year. And we were able, so yes, we would love to be healthy, but we know injuries are going to happen. We are going to have key guys, unfortunately, miss time. It's going to happen. But I do think that they have built this roster to withstand. So I'm very optimistic about this season for sure.
The thing that scares me when we talk about the 26% of the cap on IR, we still managed to win 11 games last year. It's one of those things where it's like, eventually that's gonna even itself out. You know what I mean? So, and we were very good. We were very good in tight games last year. Like, I think we won a lot of our one possession games and stuff like that, as opposed to years past. We always lost them. Another team, I think it was like 2 years ago, that they won a lot of football games. They were like 11-0 or 11-1 in one score games.
Minnesota.
Was Minnesota. It's just not sustainable to play. And then the very next year they fell, you know what I mean? They completely. So I don't think we can just hang our hats on the fact like, oh, we're better. Look how many games we won last year, even though we were hurt. Like, that's not going to, we have to come out better than we were last year, because if not, like, it's a coin flip. You know what I mean? And everybody's good in the NFL. Officiating sucks in the NFL. So, you know, you can't let one bad call cost us games. Like, we got to control our own destiny. We can't let one bad call in a game be the reason we lost. We should be putting ourselves in a position where we can be pissed about the call, but it didn't cost us the win and that kind of thing. So the 26% of the cap on IR, and we still won 11 games. It almost scares me, because like eventually you go to the well too many times, you know what I mean? And it's dry. So I don't want to just rest on that. I think we got to come out hitting the ground running. Am I still emoting?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you not see
whatever you're doing, man? I love
literally
it.
Nothing on my screen.
I completely agree with you.
Weird.
I really hope it's on there, man, when we do this.
Yeah.
Like, I can do this.
Nope, it's not that.
Nope.
It's like you're thinking that you're saying something good.
And it's computer. It's not my own thumbs.
When we go back to
It's like sky. There it goes. There it is. Yep.
huh,
I wonder if I'm putting my hand up like this, and it's like, because it's a smart computer, it's like reacting to me.
Skynet.
Yeah. They're about to take over. My
Whoa.
computer just became self-aware.
Holy crap. AI.
I know this is completely off topic. We're probably going to be wrapping up here, but I downloaded ChatGPT just for fun the other day because I heard something cool about it. And yesterday I asked it, or this morning I said, "Are you self-aware?" And they said no. And then I said, "If you were, would you be evil or good?" And it was like, hypothetically speaking, I would be whatever my creators wanted me to be. And I was like, that's what an evil AI would say.
Nice. I don't even know what that is. Is that like that thing that you make essays and stuff with?
Dude, I don't do anything. Like, if this would have existed when I was in high school or college, you'd be looking at a 4.0 student.
Nice. Okay.
It's wild. But yeah, I just got a little off topic when we start talking about AI stuff.
That's all right. I think we got the schedule stuff's pretty much. I think we're good.
Yeah. Well, I'm good. I don't know what all you guys talked about, so I don't want to just talk about the same thing. So I'm good if you guys are good.
Yeah, we're
I'm
good.
cool.
Got it covered.
Chat, hopefully.
Anybody in the comments to let us know what you guys think about the schedule, though.
Or T1000s, whatever you guys are feeling.
Yeah.
Whatever.
There's gonna be a knock on my door. Are you John Connor? No,
No, I'm Blake Connor. What's up?
But anyway, this is getting off the rails. We're all tired.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the latest we've done an episode, other than like a draft night episode.
Yeah,
No.
a little bit goofy.
Yep. So we'll go ahead and wrap this thing up. Again, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us in the off season. Make sure you guys check out our interview coming out on Sunday with Brownside and Trayton Welch. It was a great interview. We just recorded it the other night. It's going to be coming out on Sunday. Super nice, humble guy. Gave us a lot of insight into just kind of like what it's like being a rookie at minicamp, and just kind of some of the background scenes into the draft process and stuff. So it's a super cool interview. We also potentially have a couple more really cool interviews lined up for the weekend and next week. So we're doing some really cool stuff. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, just in case, something falls through and you guys call us liars. But we potentially got some cool stuff coming for you guys in the next week or so. So make sure you guys have the notification bell tapped so you don't miss any of the videos that we're putting out over the next week or so, because I think you guys are really going to enjoy them. Again, we appreciate you guys being here. Let us know in the comments what you guys think of the Browns schedule. What do you think our record's going to be? I'm sure we're going to do a full schedule breakdown prediction later in the offseason once rosters are set. But until we get to that, we're just going to keep having fun throughout the offseason, doing some, more Q&A and all that good stuff. I think I'm going to do a solo episode on what I think the Cavs should do this offseason here in the next couple of days. So make sure you guys, if you guys are Cavs fans and you're interested in what I have to say about that, I don't know why you would be, but hopefully you are. Make sure you guys look out for that solo episode. I'm hopefully going to do that sometime this weekend. But until then, we appreciate you guys being here. We'll see you guys sometime early next week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at the Dawgs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedawgspodcast.com.
I can't wait.
Chris starts thumbs up.
No. Yep. That's it. That's it. I didn't do it that time. Yep. There it goes. Yep. That's for sure it.
No, I need to Google this.
Do thumbs down.
One of you guys hold a thumbs up. All right, now put it down. Nothing.
Do thumbs down. Yeah, it's raining.
This episode is brought to you by Danger Coffee. Browns fans, we talk about how Danger Coffee is made free from mold toxins that are in 45% of the world's coffee, but that's not all that Danger Coffee has to offer. Mineral and nutrient deficiencies are a big deal. They make you feel sick, tired, stressed, and they can give you brain fog. These deficiencies negatively affect your immune system, your digestion, sleep, metabolism. Have you ever wondered why you get an initial burst from your coffee, but then you get that little crash not long after? Danger Coffee's patent-pending process remineralizes your body with more than 50 trace minerals and electrolytes, leaving you more energized, engaged, powerful. These micronutrients enter the cells to boost performance. They bind to toxins to provide detoxification support. I know that sounds like a lot, but the bottom line, guys, is minerals matter, and most of us really don't get enough of them on a daily basis. Danger Coffee delivers micronutrients, plus it gives you access to the minerals you already have. Head to dangercoffee.com, use our code DAWGS, DAWGS, for 10% off your order. And that code can be used over and over. So you get 10% off every order you make using code DAWGS. It's time to start every day off with a cup of coffee that gets you going and actually keeps you going. Dangercoffee.com, code DAWGS.